Hello, Melanin Monarchy citizens. This is your Monarch here at another specific event. This time I'm at my favorite theater, the Angelica, here in San Diego. Really, it's kind of like up north, San Diego, Carmel Mountain, but it's one of my favorites. Actually, it's the only theater that I actually go to. I love this theater. I absolutely love it. And today I am here for a specific film. This is a documentary, and I'm here with one of my really good friends, one of my besties from way back in the day, and we are here to see
It's Never Over.
It's Never Over.
Jeff Buckley.
About Jeff Buckley. Now, we are huge Jeff Buckley fans. Would you say huge?
Yeah, I would say pretty
I would
huge.
say pretty huge. So around 2013, this is my girl, Lisa. Lisa, she's like a historian. She's an expert in research and all that good stuff. But like in 2013, we went to go see Last Goodbye. Was it The Last Goodbye? It was a play.
Yep.
And it was written by a Mr. Michael Kimmel. Now, there's a lot of Michael Kimmels out there, you guys. This is a playwright, Michael Kimmel, out of New York, I believe, in Bronx, New York, from Fordham University. So he wrote that particular play, the music. He collaborated with a bunch of people, and it was amazing. And actually, I think they need to bring that play back.
I think so too. I've been looking for it to see if it's been brought. It has not, but they should.
Yeah, and I actually contacted him a couple of years ago, and he said that he really wasn't doing anything with it. So we're hoping that maybe now, with a resurgence of interest in Jeff Buckley, that maybe that play, that musical, can come back. But we're here to see this documentary. This documentary is made by Amy Berg. And there's a bunch of different things that are going on with Jeff Buckley. I'm going to say just a couple of things that I want to point out that Brad Pitt is a huge Jeff Buckley fan. So his production company, Plan B, the producers of this, he's been trying to do all things Jeff Buckley since Jeff Buckley left us. So what are you expecting to get out of this particular documentary for this year? Because there is a documentary that was done before. So what are you thinking?
I'm excited to know that, first of all, his mother was a producer on this film.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see what that brings to it.
Okay.
The music, just hearing it, any previously unreleased footage, and getting to see him perform and hear his voice and hear his story in a new way. I'm really excited to see it.
So Lisa, tell people who don't know who Jeff Buckley is just a little bit about Jeff Buckley.
Well, Jeff Buckley burrowed himself into my soul in the late 90s.
Me too. Me too. She was a baby. I was in college, but she was a baby. Okay.
I was in high school.
Okay.
In the late 90s. And you know, his music is difficult to describe because that was one of the most incredible things about him, is that he had all these genres that sort of seemed to fold into his music.
Yeah.
And his voice is angelic. His first and only album, really, but that was released prior to his death, was lauded as really one of the most incredible debuts out there ever.
Yeah.
And it truly is an amazing record. If you've not listened to it before, Grace is the album. It's wonderful, and his voice is beautiful, and I can't recommend it enough.
Yes. And so Jeff Buckley, for those of you guys don't know, Jeff Buckley, his heritage is a music heritage. His father, Tim Buckley, and he passed away from an accident in 1997. So Jeff Buckley has been gone for almost 30 years, and we're still talking about him. It's different though. It's a different vibe. It's a different vibe than talking about the Beatles or Elvis or something like that. You can tell for the short amount of time that Jeff Buckley was with us, as far as his music talent, that we knew about his music talent, he touched millions, apparently.
Evidently, enough
Because
for 2 documentaries and 30 years worth
and
of
a play,
missing him. And a play,
and a musical, and all this stuff. So, what's your prediction? Your prediction is his mom. See him more as his mom. And what other kind of predictions are you going to make with this documentary? Because I think it was done. It was first shown at Sundance earlier this year in New York. So, won a couple of awards there, of course, because it's Jeff Buckley. But what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, I'm expecting a well-made film. First of all,
Okay.
that the documentary itself is going to be nice. But I'm like I said, I think one of the things I'm looking forward to most is hearing his music and hearing it told and talked about in a new way, and things I've never heard before.
So there was something that you mentioned to me earlier. You said you were talking about the reach. So you were wondering if...
Yeah. So we were talking about, this is opening night here at a, theater. I got the email about this movie and thought, oh my gosh, we have to go.
How long before did you get the email before you contacted me?
that night. I got it that
Right. We just found out like 2 days ago.
Go.
Yes.
We gotta go. And I thought maybe, it wouldn't be very full, that the theater wouldn't be full. And yet it was. There's packed. And I wonder if perhaps we'll see some younger folks in the audience as well who've basically learned about Jeff Buckley and his music. So we'll see.
Yeah. I kind of think so too. I don't care. I don't care about everybody else that's coming. I really don't. I just want to love on him some more. I want his mom, his family, his friends, people who actually knew him to know how important he was to all of us. I know he touched them, but he touched us. His music still touched us.
Yeah.
And so as my homie Lisa said, if you have not heard Grace, the whole album, that's an album that you can listen to the whole album. You can't say that about men.
No, you can't.
But this is back in the 90s, you guys, when you actually had to have talent. Did I say it? You had to have talent in order to really sing.
Coming out his ears. I mean,
my gosh. All right, you guys, we'll let you know all about this, or it's just going to be me and Lisa kind of talking about it some more. We'll let you guys know because we can't take footage inside, and out of respect. We kind of want them to make money, sort of. So we're here, opening night here in San Diego. All right, you guys, to the pip. Lisa, anything else?
That's
Bye.
it. Thank you. What were your thoughts of the film and any afterthoughts or anything like that? Go ahead and go.
I'll start.
And talk up a little bit.
My overwhelming feeling is sad. It was definitely they shared a lot of the tragedy of his life from beginning to end, but also what was very clear throughout was how much everyone loved his music and the beauty of his music. It's very deep. But I did like it. I liked it.
Yeah, it was excellent. I think it is sad because I think he had a very tragic life. Like, I think there's probably a lot of joy and wonderful things, but ultimately that's probably why he wrote what he did and how he performed. And there was a lot of tragedy, but beautiful too. And then the concert piece at the end was sort of poetic because he was singing to a group of men.
Yes, I noticed that. Yes, he was singing. Yeah,
and I just found it. I think it probably was intentional. I mean, this was curated, but it was very poetic in that, like, he had said that he didn't know how to be a man, but he was there preaching to a room full of men. It was just a great way to end it.
Oh, I didn't think about that. So were there any surprises in the film that you kind of thought you didn't know before about Jeff Buckley, or anything that stuck out to you about him?
I think I was subject to the not knowing how he died. I knew he drowned, but I did not know that he very on a whim just walked into the river to just he climbed up the scaffolding to watch Led Zeppelin in a unorthodox way that was his, right? He probably just was it's beautiful, I want to go in there. And I don't think I realized that is actually how it happened.
Yeah, there was a lot of, they mentioned in the film, there was a lot of other explanations that sort of swirled around.
They left it vague, and it was on purpose, right? To sensationalize it, I think. But yeah, I think that was probably the most surprising. Or didn't remember, no.
I didn't know the depth of that relationship, the sort of tortured relationship that he didn't have with his father, and the absence that he created in his life, that real gaping hole that obviously created the art in so many ways.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I knew who his father was. I knew that he wasn't a part of his life, that they were estranged, which is, I guess, a bit naive. Of course, a father being estranged has an impact in everyone's life, but I was surprised to see it woven into just the entire description of every piece of his life that was there.
But I think if he'd lived past 30, it would have been more. But he was still dealing with that in his 20s, as every person does.
Feels like dealing with their
trauma, right? Like, you didn't get to...
When you say if he would have lived past 30, he would have dealt with more, do you mean like dealt more with that childhood trauma? Do you think that it would have continued? Where do you think the healing would have happened? Or do you think it would have happened?
I think just because of who he was, it seems like. He was very in tune and sensitive, and he wanted to grow and he wanted to create, and like that would have brought closure and peace to his life. But your 20s as a male, like, there's no closure happening. That's not where you're at, So if he had lived longer, we would have seen it.
And there was a moment in the film when one of the women who was part of his life had said, I think the way she phrased it was, I would love to have seen the things that fall away later.
100%.
Yes.
For that to have happened for him.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was good. So as a documentary, how necessary do you think telling the story again of Jeff Buckley is? He's been dead for going on 30 years. And so how relevant do you think it is?
I think it's just like any other artist. It's always relevant, right? Because like he said, his music's the only thing that lives on. So sharing that with a new generation and sharing that experience, I think is always relevant.
And the humanity of it,
Yeah.
that, it may be 2025, but these stories and the human condition and how that creates art and what that does to create art in the world. His is one of many, and his music is important, but I think it's as relevant now as it always has been and always will be in that regard.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, ladies. See, I still have Lisa like right here. You guys, that was Lisa and her sister Chrissy. And remember that Lisa is an historian. She's a research expert and she's brilliant. And we were talking again about this particular documentary of the name of the documentary. Why is it escaping me? It was one of the songs. It's Never Over. The previous documentary, there you go, the poster right there. The previous documentary was Everybody Wants Her. That was the one that was early 2000s, also with Brad Pitt. Here's what your monarch thinks about this particular documentary. I think I need to watch it again because I want to say that it was about Jeff Buckley's music. Then again, I want to say that it was about his life and the inspiration behind the music. And then I kind of want to say that maybe it's speaking to something bigger that I'm missing. And I'm pretty sure that I am missing some things because I saw some things in the edit. So in the film, there was his mother. There were a couple of women in his life. Surprisingly, well, there was a new woman that I hadn't known. Apparently, there was a lot of women in Jeff Buckley's life in his short time of fame, rocker. Amy Mann was in it, and it's funny is because they were interviewing Amy Mann, and she just kind of made it seem, or the way they edited it was like, oh, he was into me, but I told him, I was above it. No, nigga, you slept with him too. You did. You did, or you wouldn't be here. That was probably something that was edited out. But what I also thought who wasn't there was Elizabeth Fraser. She was in the previous documentary. Elizabeth Fraser is the lead singer of Cocteau Twins, and a lot of you Jeff Buckley fans may remember that. Why she didn't make it in this particular documentary. Maybe she don't want to talk about it anymore. But what it did seem like, which Lisa kind of said before, is that you could tell that people haven't healed, that it seemed like they're still mourning. So I don't know if talking about Jeff Buckley like this, Lisa, is helping the healing process, or is it just opening up the wound again? So I was kind of thinking like, I want to talk about Jeff Buckley because I love him so. I love him like I knew him, right? That I love his music. I am 1000% sure that had he finished recording his second album, it would have been bigger than Grace. And Grace was big. the way the song, I just think that his second album would have been bigger. I think that it's important to keep talking about people who were brilliant music. I think he's gonna find a new, there's gonna be more generations, you know, even when we're old and decrepit, they're gonna find Jeff Buckley. They're not even gonna know anything about Tim Buckley because he didn't want to be in his father's shadow. This is what I wanted to say. I forgot this, Lisa. He said this. He said that it's not his father's voice, it's not his voice, it's the voice of the men in his generation. You remember that? I was like, no. Yes, I was like, that is so true. He really understood that it wasn't, whatever demons that were plaguing his generation didn't just start with his father, you know, that it started before his father, but he was trying so hard not to be, again, like Chrissy said, he's so young, you know what I mean? Like, you're so young, you're just not gonna have everything reconciled at that time when you're 29, 30, and all. Do we have everything reconciled? I don't even know if we have everything reconciled. I'm 51, and I don't know if I have everything reconciled. So for this, I really want you guys to go out and see this film. I think it's worth it, especially if you are a musician. If you are a musician, if you are a male musician, Jeff Buckley was very sensitive, but he was very manly. It's a weird, like, sensitivity, manly, sexy, everything about his music. But definitely go listen to Grace. Go on your Spotify, your Apple Play, your Pandora, wherever you're listening to music at. Go ahead and listen to Grace. Listen to all of his other music that he recorded, but it didn't come out in a studio album. And I also, one little thing about, they were kind of picking on the record company. I don't think we should do that. We all know that they're full of devils anyway, so saying, you know, the record company was, you know, he had all this debt, that's most of them, you know, and Amy Mann kind of said that too. But I do want to encourage everybody, kudos to Amy Berg, that was the director. Amy Berg, again, Brad Pitt, we know you in love with Jeff Buckley. We do. We know that you are doing this because you really want to do a biopic. That's what's next. You really want to find somebody who can sing like Jeff Buckley. So you're searching TikTok, you're searching Instagram, you're searching everywhere to find the person that can play Jeff Buckley. I know you are. But, and so we're ready. We're rooting you on, especially us Jeff Buckley fans. But okay, you guys go out if you can see it. See the film, see the other one, see the one from 2002, and re-listen to his music because, my God, Jeff Buckley, he was otherworldly. And you know what? I believe anybody who dies from drowning, I believe it's a theft of life. I believe because of what the Bible says about not killing people with water, I think anybody who dies by the hands of water, that is a theft of life. So I think his death was definitely an accident. It was a theft. He was not supposed to die. I think he still should have been here. But alas, a lot of people that we love are no longer here. And so we just keep loving them with our memories. And we get to love Jeff Buckley with his music. So you guys, toodle pip. See you at the next live event. Say bye, Lisa. I love Lisa so much. Lisa is just, she's really an amazing human being. All right, bye. Oh, that's right. I forgot to tell you guys. I did a video about a year ago on 5 artists who left us too soon. And I think you guys should check that video out. That video that talks about the 5 artists who left us too soon, because Jeff Buckley was on that video. I talked about that on a video. Okay, you guys, toodle pip.